Happy Monday. Hopefully, everyone got off with a good bang this week. Because I know there's at least a couple people that started off with a good bang. That's right, just a good bang of so much that bullets went flying. Now, this story is a little close to home. When I mean a little too close to home, I literally mean a little too close to home. This is about a few miles away from my house. So when it says this hits a little close to home, it really does. Because this happened in the Domain Northside area, which I am only a few miles away. I could walk to the Domain from here. It'll only take me say 20 minutes of walking, probably about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of driving. Only because I'm dealing with neighborhood streets and park. But this right here, Domain Northside shooting started over stolen glasses. Suspect arrested and charged. 22-year-old man was arrested and charged with aggravated robbery following the incident of the Domain Northside last Friday. So this happened last Friday. You would think I would hear the gunshots, but apparently I was either asleep or not paying attention. According to the arrest affidavit, police officer responded around 8:23 to shots fired called in the block of 11600 block of Rock Rose Avenue. Police learned that there's been a disturbance between the suspect, Cody Lewinsky Scales Jr., and another man. The man told the police that he was the victim of a car break-in on Tuesday, July 12th, and said Scale Jr. was the suspect who took one-of-a-kind pair of sunglasses worth $10K, two watches out of his vehicle, so he tried to arrange a meet him in hopes of recovering stolen items, but Scales stopped responding to his texts. Friends of the victim then said that they saw Scales Jr. driving around the Domain area on Friday night wearing the said glasses, so the victim went to look and locate him. Kind of asked for it, don't get me wrong. I get it. You get the thug mentality going on. He has your stolen product, so you want it back. I get it. I get that mentality, but certain things are left to the police, assuming that we actually have police to do with this. Let's see here. Who was armed? Let's see. That's when the victim confronted Scales, who was armed, and the witness said was flailing in the air and struggled and shot between the two when Scales' gun fired twice, sending a bullet through a vehicle door and the other through the front glass of the Doc Martens store. He's lucky. Lucky no one got killed. The store was seen closed and boarded up the next morning, but is since reopened. Spokesperson for Doc Martens said the following statement to CBS Austin on Monday regarding the incident. There was an unconnected incident that happened outside the store during which some damage was caused. However, all staff and customers are safe and we're now back open. According to the online jail records, Scale Jr. is currently in Travis County Jail under a total of a bond of $90,000 and facing two charges: first-degree felony of aggravated robbery and an unknown second-degree felony charge. Why is he able to get bond? That's my question. This city is all anti-gun, and every time they get a gun case, they tend to let them out on bond. If gun violence is such an issue, don't you want the people who use their guns behind locked and key? But I promise you the solution. A solution that we could do this November. What happens in November? Well, there's a city election. Not just a state election and a federal election, but a city election. You can vote for this guy. He's in, I think, forget what he was, District 1, I believe. Yeah, District 1. You can elect Clinton Rary if you're in District 1. If you're in District 4, I think, no, District 3, you can vote for Yvonne Weldon. That's right. Vote for me, Yvonne Weldon, on November 8th so I can represent you in 2023. I grew up here in Austin. I'm a product of Austin Public Schools. I work as a state of Texas employee at the Office of Attorney General in procurement and have obtained my CPPB certification. I later went back to work to earn a bachelor's degree of business administration and accounting, and I've just recently earned a paralegal certificate from the University of Texas Center for Professional Education. I look forward to representing and serving all of us that live, work, and play here in Austin. Please check out my issue page and make a donation for further my message to the community to get me on the city council working for you. I appreciate your support. What is her issue page? Affordability, make Austin affordable. The affordability crisis is not just about high property taxes and high rent. High cost of living comes from wasteful spending initiatives such as well as local leaders not effectively managing our taxpayer money. I will hold city departments accountable and seek comprehensive review and audits of the city departments. Crime. We need a safer community. Austin once had the reputation of being a safe city, and we will restore that reputation by ensuring that our first responders are fully staffed and have the resources needed to fulfill its duty. I'll focus on offensive and proactive strategies to address the cycle of crime while also addressing legitimate concerns over policing in our district. Even though I do give cops praise, I do back the blue. A lot of my backing comes with conditions. I do understand that there is an issue and there's a reason why Black Lives Matter is so prominent because it resonates with a lot of people. It resonates with a lot of people of a certain skin tone because there's a history there. So I do understand the sentiment. But the solution isn't get rid of all the cops. And that's something that's happened here in Austin. There's a war on the cops from the DA, from the mayor, from the city council. But we need to address those issues and not get rid of the cops. Transportation. We need effective forms of transportation. How have we been addressing traffic and public transportation? Transportation is not working. I work with industrial leaders and experts to come with affordable and effective ways for Austin to be a more mobile without asking homeowners and renters for more money. I will hold Project Connect leaders accountable for transparency in project designs and cost. How about we just kill Project Connect? Homelessness, caring for our Austinites, breaking the cycle and honing in on the root causes of homeless will be the top priority to address in District 3. We'll focus on compassionate and effective services and strategies to help and not hurt those that are experiencing homeless. We'll work with the county, state, and federal legislators to make sure mental health funding is brought back to the states. It's very controversial because you're talking about the loony bins, mental health hospitals where people were just dropped off, most of the time against their will. Not saying that it's wrong or right. I understand where it's controversial. City services serving the people of Austin, we need to ensure that all core and essential city services are operating effectively and efficiently. I'll make sure wages and benefits are competitive at the fair across the board of all city positions. We will cut wasteful spending to show accountability and transparency for the taxpayer dollars of Austin property owners and renters. Economy, making sure all residents are thriving. It's kind of a blanket statement that will never be achieved, but it makes a good slogan. Don't get me wrong. Makes a good slogan. Most of Austin residents, including renters and homeowners, are struggling through affordability crisis, focused on limiting government to stay out of your life so you make your own choices in how you want to live and raise your family. You have a right to make sure your business and jobs stay open while ensuring the community stays safe. More aligned with my morals. The only issue I have with this is, do you really need a donate button on every single issue? I mean, I'm just curious because it looks like it's the same website. Secure. I mean, it's a little redundant, but no, it's your site. I hope you win. If you watch this, I hope you take the criticism to heart. Maybe have the donate button like right here and right here, but you don't need it on every single one. That's just my personal opinion. Then, of course, you have Jenifer Burden for mayor. This is going to be the person I could actually vote for. The other two people are not in my district, so I can't vote for them, which is a issue in all itself. But it's the rules that we gotta play with. But I can vote for Jenifer Burden for mayor because she's the executive person of the city. Assuming that she wins, hopefully she wins. She has a 5-page PDF: property taxes in Austin, affordability crisis, inflation, and record high gas prices are squeezing household budgets, resulting into families having less money to spend each month. I think it was around 500. Every household is paying extra due to inflation, whether it's gas or groceries. According to the Axios, Austin property taxes on the median home value in ASD will be increased by at least $12,200. Since Steve Adler was elected mayor, City Council has raised the property taxes at an average of 10.3% above the effective tax rate. I mean, you gotta pay for the homeless shelters. Oh, wait, you mean hotels? Homeless hotels that only house 10 people, but we're spending $250,000. Yeah, maybe not 10, more like 20. Rising taxes makes it less affordable to own a home in Austin and contributes to the rising rent and force small businesses to close. As your mayor, I'll have a 3-part plan to comprehensively address property tax crisis in Austin, solve the school district recapturing problem, aka Robin Hood. I'm on the fence for this. I mean, I hate the recapture tax, but I understand. More actually did a video either last year or sometime last year about the Robin Hood, and it was developed under Ann Richards because the Texas Supreme Court ruling saying the status quo was unconstitutional towards Texas because you had the poor cities not able to raise enough money, so there was a disproportionate level of education. And the thing that Texas wants or needs is a even playing field. So whether you were in a poor, no-name town or a high recognition town, whether it's Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, Waco, it's the same level of education. So I kind of understand it. I'm on the fence. It just sucks because my taxes keep on going up, and that is the leading cause. Benchmark the disable and senior tax property tax exempt. With inflation, rising gases, and skyrocketing house prices and rent, people are being crushed by the cost of living in Austin. Even if you own your house, you're still being crushed by the skyrocketing house prices because property tax goes over the so-called current value of your house. So if you live in a neighborhood and it jumps up to $200,000 for the median price, and you paid 100,000, you're going to be paying the 2,000 or 200,000, and vice versa. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. But the thing is, they're always raising. They're always raising. You don't know it at first until you get the bill for $8,000, and that's just for that year. Then it goes up to 8,100, then 8,500, then 8,600, then 9,000 in about 4 or 5 years. Okay, cost of living. It's a crisis family. Those with low or fixed income. Artists, musicians, and other small businesses are especially vulnerable to being priced out of Austin. The list of iconic Austin businesses have closed their doors forever seems to grow by the day. Stories of families being priced out of Austin is tragic. The downstream consequences of such as traffic, inadequate infrastructure are frustrating. Just the other day, somebody messaged me and told me her story that she and her family been here for 15 years, but because their property tax bill raises every year, she was forced to sell her home. She couldn't afford another home in Austin, so they ended up moving to Montana in the middle of her daughter's freshman year of high school. Yikes. So their child spent all their school years in Austin, and because they're being priced out, goes to another state without those friends, and they gotta make new friends. The double-edged sword. You got more experience, you can make more friends, and then you keep your Austin friends. You build that network, but it sucks because you gotta start over. Rising home prices are a double-edged sword. On the one hand, they are the American dream. They allow people to build wealth. We want to encourage home ownership here in Austin. But on the other hand, the market in Austin has priced out most people. There's not enough supply to keep up the demand, and our property tax bills associated with owning a home has reached a crisis point. While I've put out my proposal for addressing the house supply problems and the cost of development here in Austin, I think it's also imperative that the future Mayor of Austin lay out her plan to address rising property tax bills. The median value of metro area paying Austin School District could pay at least $12,200 in taxes. Axios, Austin, April 18th, 2022. And it kind of goes a little graph. My proposal will address the two largest taxes entity, which will comprise of 70% of the total tax bill. The city of Austin. See, this is what I'm talking about. That's actually not bad of a tax. That's not bad of a tax. That's not bad of a tax. That's not bad of a tax. This is a terrible and not. And the sad thing is, none of that $6,380.60 is going to the school district. It's going to the Robin Hood, which means that most of it's leaving. I think about 48, 49% of all school taxes are collected go towards the Texas Robin Hood recapture program. Part 1, a solution to recapture. A large part of the property tax crisis in Austin is the AIC recapture system, aka Robin Hood, which is used to fund public schools in Texas. While this is a complex issue here, the basic Texas Constitution requires states to provide public education. Over the years, the state shifted much of its responsibility to local schools district. Robin Hood, the educational financial system, attempt to provide equitable funding for public schools across Texas. Funding the schools is redirected by the state from the rich districts to the poor district. The rich and poor determines the base of the property value or land value. Austin districts have considered rich, with AISD being the richest in the state. The state redirects a portion of the local property tax revenues to other districts in the state. On the surface, it's not that bad. I can get behind it. The issue is about 50% of the school budget is getting sent to the Texas public schools. In 2022, this resulted in a taxpayer in AISD sending $710 million to the state of Texas to distribute to other school districts throughout the state. This is approximately 50% of AISD M&O taxes generated in the district and 3 times more than the next richest district like Dallas or Houston. So Dallas and Houston are much larger cities than Austin is. But what we're sending more of the money out of Austin than both Dallas and Houston. With Texas' economic success over the years, the state is flush with excess cash and reserves funds, notably the Economic Stabilization Fund. Most of this revenue is generated by the state's sales tax, which are taxes that have already been paid by all of us in Texas. A recent proposal has been made would take a portion of those surplus state revenues, taxes we have already paid, and use those to pay school funding across Texas, relieving the burden placed on local property tax payers. The proposal would simply shift the source of funding while maintaining the same level of funding proposed has received bipartisan support and makes good common sense. As mayor, I'll continue to work with the state on the local leaders to ensure this gets done. For our sake of our city, we must put all of our disagreements aside and focus on solving this now. Austin taxpayers could see an up to 25% reduction of their property tax bills. And then pretty much say actually, that's where the tax rate is. It's at 10% between the 2015 to 2021 and 22. Freeze and reduce city tax bills. The city general fund is comprised of 9 sources of money: property tax, sales tax, other fees, fines, penalties, licenses, charges, and other revenues. About half of the general fund comes from property taxes. Over the last 8 years, including 2020, before raising our property tax bills the prior year, the city has brought a average $33 million additional revenue from taxes on new development and increase in other sources revenue. Last year alone, the increase was $56 million. That's a 5.04 increase percentage from previous years. This is plenty of new money for the city before raising taxes on Austin families. But they have each year, the city council have chosen to raise property tax above the effective and no new revenue tax rate. This is the tax rate required to freeze individual property tax bills from the previous years, so taxpayers pay no increase. Year after year after year, the city council has raised our taxes without even voting or leaving it up for us to vote, because by law they could do like 1 or 2%, or maybe 3%. Year after year, they've done the max, what they're legally able to do. But yet you got cities like Dallas and Houston that don't even max it out. So we need new leadership. And just getting a new mayor is not going to do it. You got to get a whole new city council. And electing the 2 people I mentioned, along with this mayor, will go a long way. My first year of Austin mayor, we will freeze property tax bills for everyone, meaning we will lower the tax rate sufficiently to make up for the increased valuation. You'll pay the same amount in city property taxes my first year as you did the prior year. Then I'll propose a 3% reduction in your city property tax bill each year. I am mayor for the medium house mentioned below will look like this. Now, she did say city property tax bill. She did not say Travis County. She did not say AISD. She did not say the library, whatever, in the ACC. Then, of course, the tax exempts. So hopefully, now this is just the city part of it. I understand that she can't do this the schools because that's a different entity. My God, this is 25 minutes. Wow. Like I said, those are solutions to fix. Because shooting the north side of Austin's a little close to home for me. I know it's just one neighborhood, and I'm pretty sure there's a couple shootouts that happened over the weekend here in Austin alone. But we must elect leaders that are willing to put law enforcement first, willing to put the taxpayers first, and not criminals first. That's pretty much what we have now. Anyways, leave a comment down below. I know this is a long one. I know it's a lot covered. But like I said, there's three people that we could vote for that can make Austin great again, make Austin affordable again, and all that good jazz. Leave a comment down below and what your thoughts are. Smash the like and subscribe button in any and all platforms, or just the platform that you're currently watching. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.